Good evening and welcome to your Tuesday, April 16, 2024 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Seize opportunities or else international investors will act, President Ali says to local firms. President Ali challenges banks to facilitate more investments locally and abroad. Laid-back culture among students must change as Guyana moves to free tertiary education, says President Ali. UNSC calls for maximum restraint amid border controversy between Guyana and Venezuela. And We Lift 4 gets corporate support as 250 women-led businesses to showcase talent this weekend. Now for the news in detail. As the 2024 Local Content Summit got underway today, President Dr. Irfan Ali urged businesses looking for opportunities in local content spaces in Guyana to pay keen attention to the developmental trends. Failure to do so, he warned, could lead to opportunities bypassing them and being otherwise grasped by international investors. Here are the details from Jarrell Bryan.
In his keynote address to the attendees of the 2024 Local Content Summit on Tuesday, President Dr. Irfan Ali noted the importance of persons positioning themselves based on development trends. The development model being pursued by the government and the region as a whole is no secret, and the President's advice was for persons to pay keen attention to this.
We have to look at the backward and forward integration. Looking into the future, consortiums in shipping, logistics, regional food hub, agriculture, marketing, gas, and what gas will bring to us, building out that whole gas infrastructure. Give us the possibility of moving. Can you imagine the logistics of moving gas into northern Brazil? The logistics of moving urea, the logistics of the corn and soya. And it requires conversation and nurturing.
He also noted that as Guyana's brand gets stronger, persons must position themselves to be able to provide services that are in demand.
We fight for local content, more in local content, but what are you doing for this content? How are you positioning this brand? For the brand to get stronger, you have to also build the brand. So if you think knocking the brand every day is in your interest, then God help all of us. The brand has already established where we are. The brand has already established our credentials from an economic perspective. Now let us harness this brand and say, utilizing this brand Guyana, the home for nursing.
The President warned that with international interest in Guyana at an all-time high, foreigners will see the same opportunities Guyanese drag their feet to take up.
You will sit here and let it knock-on effect go past you. Somebody's going to come and open a world-class ecotourism facility right in the rainforest with VIP tents. At $5,000 US per night. And then you will say, if I didn't know, the knock-on effect is important. Why can't we build together a world-class ecotourism company?
The Local Content Summit is being hosted at the Pegasus Hotel Suites and was spearheaded by two women-led companies, MBW Energy Support Services Inc. and Prestige Management Consultant. President Ali went on to urge attendees not to use the summit as a complaint forum, but rather to also look at the positives.
So, as we come together today to look at opportunities, let us not limit ourselves to what happens here, and let us also not make this a complaint forum. Let us not make this a complaint forum. Sometimes we bring so much negative energy in a room that the positive vibes escape us. The future is ours. You decide how you shape it.
Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
Guyana's banking sector needs to be proactive in seeking out and facilitating investment opportunities locally and abroad to help expand the economy. This analysis was expressed by President Dr. Irfaan Ali during his address to the opening of the Local Content Summit today. Here is Jarrell Bryan again with the details.
I'm here at the 2024 Local Content Summit being held at the Pegasus Hotel under the theme Creating Value, Driving Economic Expansion, where President Dr. Irfaan Ali impressed on attendees the need for more collaboration and for financial institutions to shift their thinking and lending policies. Speaking to stakeholders in the public and private sector, President Ali noted that the traditional risk-averse ways of banking can no longer continue. In fact, he lamented that local bankers do not engage in banking, but rather traditional approach to money management.
There is one element of this equation that I think is not given enough emphasis, and that is the banking sector. How do we get the banking sector to work closer together, to integrate more seamlessly, and to address the issue of scale? I keep mentioning at these seminars that the banking model needs to change. Banks cannot no longer be a counter that you deposit money and you get some, well, you don't get much interest anyhow. And you get a business model around that. And then you are very risk averse, so you look at the best opportunity for lending and you lend to that, so your returns are very high, as can be seen in your balance sheet and your announcements annually. That is not banking.
The head of state added that there needs to be a shift in the mindset of bankers. He called for bankers to use more analytical tools to identify opportunities and propose same to their clients with a possible 10% or 15% return on investment.
Banking and finance is an art. It's an art of utilizing the liquidity in the system through structural mechanism to grow wealth and create wealth. And we need to move up this value scale in the banking sector to have more investment type bankers. So it's a chicken and an egg scenario. The banks are still working in a very archaic fashion, waiting for someone to bring in a business proposal to get financing, and then they look at the least risky opportunity. But that needs to change. The bank has to see itself as a facilitating role in the development and expansion of the economy, and make investment to facilitate the deployment of capital to make use of those opportunities.
Further, he said there is scope for a regional expansion. In fact, the president revealed that there is at least one local bank establishing a regional footprint by setting up a branch in a different country. The president also challenged other companies, including consultancies, contractors, and distributors, to expand across the region too. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
The culture among university-level students to not join the workforce must change, President Dr. Irfaan Ali has asserted. This is especially important as the government moves toward providing free tertiary education by 2025, he added. The head of state was at the time speaking during the Local Content Summit, which opened today at the Pegasus Suites, Georgetown. Here's what he had to say.
And you go to the Marriott, you will see that you have students from Nigeria, from Ghana, from India, who are studying here and they're working whilst they're studying. Here in Guyana, we somehow believe this is demeaning. We need to get out of that. There's a lot of value to that. Not only the earning value, and I want us to change that before we go to free university education and go to free university education very quickly and rapidly. But that can also allow you to be more laid back. Because in a developed society, You have to earn whilst you're at university because you have bills to pay. But it's not only about earning, it's the experience. It is adding to your theoretical knowledge. It is being in the work environment. It helps you academically, it helps you as a person, and it builds that experience that is necessary to transition from the world of education into the world of work. We don't see, we have labor shortage all over. We don't see enough of our students in the labor market. And that is one of the things we're addressing. That's a low-hanging fruit. Because for us to grow at the rate we have to grow, we have to deploy every single labor that is available. And that is why also we're trying to reskill women who are at home to re-enter the workforce. Because if you want to grow family wealth and community wealth, you have to increase disposable income at the family level and the community level. Once you increase disposable income, you increase spending power, you increase propensity to save, and you give them the ability to own things. And that is a major part of empowerment. So that's another part of the strategy. So for example now, we need maybe hundreds of operators. Every day we are getting complaints that we don't have operators. We need hundreds of clerk of works. We can't find them. A student with 5-6 subjects CXC would master becoming an operator maybe in 2 months.
Guyana hopes peace in the region prevails following the intervention of the United Nations Security Council, particularly since they have issued a statement calling for maximum restraint to be exercised amid the ongoing border controversy between Guyana and Venezuela. The UNSC has also reminded Venezuela of the orders of the International Court of Justice, which are to refrain from taking any action which would modify the situation that currently prevails in the territory in controversy, that is Guyana's Essequibo region. Find out more in this Lawanda McAllister report.
Last week, the United Nations Security Council, an organ of the United Nations charged with ensuring international peace and security, met to discuss recent developments in the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy. Following that closed-door meeting, the UNSC on Monday issued a statement wherein it called for maximum restraint between the two countries and, moreover, reminded Venezuela of the orders from the International Court of Justice, which were handed down in December 2023. The World Court had unanimously ordered that pending a final decision in the case, Venezuela should refrain from taking any action which would modify the situation that currently prevails in the territory in dispute, whereby Guyana administers and exercises control over that area, and that both parties should refrain from any action which might aggravate or extend the dispute before the court or make it more difficult to resolve. Meanwhile, the UNSC noted that its members are concerned about the possible escalation of tensions between Venezuela and Guyana and urged for peaceful resolutions to differences. The statement in part reads, and I quote, "The members of the Security Council reaffirmed the importance of upholding the principles of respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity and the prohibition to any party on the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of another state as enshrined in Article 2.4 of the United Nations Charter." End quote. Guyana has since welcomed the statement issued by the UNSC. In a statement of its own issued on Tuesday, the Guyana government said it welcomes the reaffirmation by members of the Security Council of the importance of upholding the World Court's order and the principles of respect for each state's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The statement further reads, and I quote, "The government of Guyana hopes that the statement by the United Nations Security Council will contribute to the maintenance of regional peace and security and to ensuring that Latin America and the Caribbean remains a zero zone of peace." End quote. Moreover, Guyana reminded that it is committed to a peaceful resolution of the controversy with Venezuela in full accordance with international law through the process of the ICJ. Last week's UNSC's closed-door meeting under the agenda item Threats to International Peace and Security was convened following a letter dispatched by President Dr. Irfaan Ali. Within that letter, the Guyanese head of state had expressed concerns about the organic law for the defense of Guyana's Essequibo, which Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro signed on April 3rd. President Ali had warned that this action cements Venezuela's intent to annex more than two-thirds of Guyana's sovereign territory and make it part of Venezuela. Maduro described the law as the implementation of the results of the December 3rd, 2023 referendum. Meanwhile, Venezuela has since submitted its counter-memorial on the border controversy case to the ICJ, the very last day the World Court had given the country to do so. President Ali has welcomed the decision and further expressed hope that Venezuela would continue to cooperate in the border case before the World Court. Reporting for the Evening News, I am Lawanda McAllister.
The Guyana government has supported calls for a second international decade for people of African descent, starting from 2025. This position was confirmed by Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Onij Walrond, as she addressed delegates in Geneva, Switzerland, at the opening of the third session of the Permanent Forum on People of African Descent. Trishelle Sobers tells us more.
In 2013, the United Nations General Assembly proclaimed 2015 to 2024 the International Decade for the People of African Descent. However, there have been calls for an extension of this period. According to a statement issued by UN during celebrations of the International Day of People of African Descent in 2023, human rights experts emphasized that more action is needed to combat racism and other intolerance. Additionally, they stressed that more than ever, the world urgently needs humanity to unite and collaborate in a spirit of equality and non-discrimination. Achieving this goal means that inequalities within and among countries will need to be drastically decreased and the legacies of colonialism, enslavement, and genocide effectively resolved, they added. During her address at the third session of the Permanent Forum on People of African Descent in Geneva, Minister Waldron disclosed that Guyana supports the efforts of said human rights experts and remains committed to ensuring that all Guyanese benefit from the country's wealth, especially those of African descent. She posited that the new decade represents a significant global effort towards achieving racial justice, equality, and empowerment.
Guyana looks forward to contributing to the efforts toward improving the conditions of people of African descent, both by supporting the work of this forum and by continuing to craft and implement programs that will redound to the benefit of Guyanese of African descent.
The minister added that the Caribbean community CARICOM has been at the forefront of demanding reparations for the descendants of enslaved Africans, a position Guyana remains fully committed to. She explained that a National Reparations Committee has already been established within the framework of a 10-point plan agreed to by CARICOM.
Guyana, as a multicultural and multi-ethnic society, is mindful and keen to ensure that our population in its entirety enjoys the best quality of life our country can afford. In that regard, we are mindful of the mandate of this permanent forum as set forth in the United Nations General Assembly resolution.
Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
Coming up, EDGIL addresses East Coast Demerara residents' concerns as construction of four-lane highway gets underway, and businesses urged to achieve international standards as GNBS partners with regional entity to host workshop. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
I'm in love! Wow!
Yeah, I was looking at you too.
What? What are you talking about? I'm in the tiles. Where did you get them?
Oh, Mima Decor. Obviously the best tile store in Guyana. Come, let me take you there.
My kitchen, my bathroom, my floors. Mima Decor has everything. And the prices are great too.
So, girl, want to have a date now?
We can build on that.
The moment is coming. He has the ball. Will he make the shot? And he made it! Goal! This is the biggest win we've seen in ages. Feel the rush with every bet and win big. Play online at www.ibetgamesur.com.
With iBet Supreme, every game is your game. I bet to win with iBet Supreme.
Must be 18 years and older to bet.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Experience more than award-winning speed. Way more. Get the best that LTE has to offer on Digicel, officially the fastest mobile network in Guyana. UCLA, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the best mobile network in Guyana. With the best LTE experience and the fastest data speeds, experience it all with Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Minister of Public Works INT'L recently engaged residents along the east coast of Demerara who are being impacted by works ongoing to develop a new 4-lane highway from Sheriff Street to Orange-Nassau along the railway embankment. Details in this Michael Henry report.
In an effort to mitigate issues arising from the construction of the new 4-lane highway that stretches from Sheriff Street to Orange-Nassau along the railway embankment, Minister of Public Works INT'L recently visited impacted residents to address their concerns. One of the issues highlighted at this meeting was the piling up of debris in front of the residents' homes.
4 months. Nobody getting to go in the yard and getting no access in the yard. You understand? These people just come in and they're sitting down and they're leaving the job. So watch by media, they get about 3 months, kind of 4 months, and they do nothing to it. Nothing, nothing. So if they can dig by me, right, remember my house is there.
The contractor should not dig up any section that they're not prepared to continuously work on. Right? People are going to suffer the inconvenience, and they are prepared to have the inconvenience. But if what this gentleman is saying is correct, you can't dig up 4 months and left it and you don't come back to continue the work. So when they dig up, they got to work right through.
Another issue raised at the meeting is the damage to private property during the construction process.
We come to tell you that your fence has to break down, and it's just where that blue fence is, where the truck is blocked in, and that is a land that pay for. I have title for that land. Your fence have to break down and we have to come in so much. So I was finding out from them, seeing I already bought this land from government. If they're coming to break my fence and take a piece of my land, who is compensating me for that, a land that I already paid for?
If it is true that you have a title or a transport for a land that we deem to be government reserve, then the process of acquiring that piece for the passage of the road will acquire you being compensated for land that you would have paid for. Nobody's land will be taken away just because the road is passed.
Moreover, another resident complained about structural damages to his home due to the construction of a nearby drain, which also caused his fence to collapse.
200 meters of drain. In the process of excavation, the fence failed, my personal fence failed, which was not on the reserve. I had damages, structural damages to my home, and I had damages to my surrounding areas. Now, who is going to compensate me for that and when?
If the contractor is working, before they work every area, a term and condition that they have to do. They have to take pictures, and it is called a conditional survey. How you fence there? See if when they dig in the fence fall in, they know that the fence got to fix back. They take the bridge, a picture of the bridge. If the bridge has to be broken, they know they have to reinstate your bridge at the end.
Nevertheless, Minister INT'L pleaded with residents to cooperate with contractors to allow for the smooth progression of work.
We need collaboration of the people and the contractor so we could get on with the work.
Michael Henry, The Evening News.
As the We Lift initiative embarks on its 4-year journey, a number of corporate sponsors have made donations to the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security in sponsorship of its upcoming Women's Expo. Here is Michael Henry again with this story.
The handing over of a check from Nations Incorporated, a private educational institution, one of several sponsors of this year's We Lift Expo, which has entered its 4th year. Other sponsors include ExxonMobil, Demerara Bank, ENET, IDB, Banks DIH, and GTT. Together, they have contributed some $9 million towards the program, which was developed by the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security to provide women with business training and opportunities. Co-founder of Nations Incorporated, Pam O'Toole, emphasized the importance of events such as the upcoming Expo this weekend, set to showcase the talents of 250 women entrepreneurs.
And we look forward to seeing the participants, so some we know and some new faces, on Saturday and Sunday at the Aquatic Centre, and hope that this partnership can continue for many more years to come. We have some very exciting ideas, and the Minister has a very exciting vision, and we hope that we can be able to keep up with her and her vision and continue to contribute to both the WIN program and We Lift.
Minister of Human Services Dr. Vindhya Prasad said that this significant investment will propel We Lift 4 to new heights.
That, I think, was the major challenge in getting them to see that vision, where we don't want them to just put out a product and just put it out like that. We want the packaging to be something that's appealing. We want the packaging to be something that's on par with an international level. We want their content, all their products, to be consistent in quality, and we want also to have the quantity to be enough so that if you have an opportunity whether to supply any agency beyond your own pop-up business or beyond your own business, you can actually deliver. And we have seen some success in that. It's the poolside we lift at the National Aquatic Center, and you can just really have a beautiful outdoor experience while you meander in our various sections of business and, be happy to your heart's content, and in all of this, support women.
Michelle Henry, The Evening News.
The Guyana National Bureau of Standards is collaborating with the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality to host a sensitization workshop aimed at educating businesses on the benefits of achieving international standards. Kelroy Williams reports.
About 20 companies are participating in the 4-day workshop, which commenced on Monday. The workshop, being hosted by the Guyana National Bureau of Standards in collaboration with the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, is to assist private companies to better understand the benefits of international certification to the IOS 9001 standard. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Managing Director at Quality Systems Solutions and Initiatives Global, Cheryl Anderson, reflected on the rapid expansion of the Guyanese economy and noted that businesses ought to similarly keep up.
Your country being on the tipping point of great development, I just want you to also align your tipping point with Guyana's tipping point as a company. And that is one of the reasons I know that you're here, because you want to implement national standards, international standards, to be internationally recognized in order for you to partake of the development of your own birthright. So you want to make sure that you're part of it, get immersed in it, and also making sure that you're integrated in it.
Also delivering remarks at the opening ceremony was Stephen Farquharson, representing the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, who delved into the objectives of the workshop.
The specific objective is to increase the use of internationally recognized regional quality infrastructure by the regional and quality infrastructure institutions and private sector to reduce technical barriers to trade.
The workshop will end on April 19th. For the Evening News, Kelroy Williams.
In a historic move, the Caribbean Community CARICOM, under the chairmanship of President Dr. Irfan Ali, is expected to launch its first ever regional environment and natural resources policy framework, and the eventual creation of a unified strategy is on the cards. Here are the details from Jarl Bryan.
During a workshop tackling biodiversity strategies on Monday, CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett revealed plans for the launch of the region's first unified policy designed to protect biodiversity. Barnett explained that an environment and natural resources policy framework will be launched during next month's Small Island Developing States (SIDS) conference. The policy, which was formulated through collaboration between member states, will guide the management of natural resources and preservation of the environment.
We are determined to lead by example wherever we can in efforts to tackle global challenges. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, there are ongoing significant regional initiatives in this regard. For example, the region has articulated its first Caribbean Community Environment and Natural Resources Policy Framework. This is to be formally launched at the 4th International SIDS Conference, scheduled for 27th to the 30th of May 2024 in Antigua and Barbuda. This policy framework, which has been approved by the environment ministers, is designed to serve as the umbrella policy for the sustainable management and use of the community's environmental and natural resources. The framework acknowledges the vital role that land, air, water, and oceans play in sustaining the economic, social, and environmental development of the community.
According to Barnett, the framework will also allow for the creation of a strategy which is being finalized for approval by the various ministers in the region. She explained that the strategy will guide member states in the management and conservation of the environment and biodiversity. Meanwhile, Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat laid out Guyana's biodiversity credentials. The minister noted that Guyana can serve as a model to other countries around the world when it comes to preserving its biodiversity.
But we understand clearly our responsibility
as a country and as a government, that we have the difficult task of balancing the extraction of natural resources with the preservation of our environment, our biodiversity, and our which is our forests. It is not an easy task, but I think Guyana can be used as a model country around the world for creating that balancing act, because we are one of the few countries in the world, even though we're an oil producing nation, we are still carbon negative. We still have a forest that's the size of the United Kingdom that can trap 19.5 gigaton of carbon. That is almost 95 to 98% virgin standing forests. That is what we boast as a country.
Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Wednesday, April 17, 2024 at midnight for 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 11:45 on Wednesday, April 17, 2024, also for 1.5 hours.
Points table reveals tight race for a West Indies champs title and focus key to Slinger's success thus far, says head coach. Details of these stories coming up in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
Poultry farmers, save money and increase your production rate by cutting the time it takes to pluck your chickens with a plucking machine from Sylvies. We have them available in small, medium and large sizes. Replacement motors and plucking fingers are also readily available. Order yours now at sylviesonline.com or at our locations at 31 High and Hatfield Street, Georgetown, or Lot 90 East Henrietta Essequibo.
The moment is coming. He has the ball. Will he make the shot? And he made it! Goal! This is the biggest win we've seen in ages. Feel the rush with every bet and win big. Play online at www.ibetgamesur.com.
With iBet Supreme, every game is your game. iBet to win with iBet Supreme.
Must be 18 years and older to bet.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Did you know Guyana Super 95 gasoline has an octane rating of 95, the highest rating available in Guyana? This premium fuel is known to enhance the performance of your engine, making it run smoother and more efficiently, leading to better fuel economy and improved performance. Choose Super 95 for more mileage and better overall performance.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the network with the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Be it in Aishalton or in Etteringban, we got you covered.
Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
The moment is coming. He has the ball. Will he make the shot? And he made it! Goal! This is the biggest win we've seen in ages. Feel the rush with every bet and win big. Play online at www.ibetgamesur.com.
With iBet Supreme, every game is your game. I bet to win with iBet Supreme.
Must be 18 years and older to bet.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.